Draft day, Johnny Manziel. 5 years later, how am I the man still? Draft day, A. Wiggins. Fuck that other side, bitch, we stay winning.
Hey, what is going on, guys? T.Sports15 here. Today we are back for another episode of the Minnesota Twins franchise here in MLB.14, the show. So before we get into the gameplay in this episode, we have two major deals. I'm going to talk about them for the first part of the video. I'm not going to get into commentating the actual gameplay because these two trades are very major. So first off, we trade for Price and David Price and Will Myers, and we give up Charlie McGraw, Kyle Zimmer, and Jose Barrios. I think that's how you pronounce his last name. And the second trade is for Anthony Rendon, and we give up Thorpe, Quinones. I think that's how it's pronounced or whatever, and then Kenny Vargas. So we're pretty much giving away most of our farm system, top prospects and everything, for three major pieces in Price, Myers, and Rendon. So the Price and Myers deal, we give up Charlie McGraw, who's going to be a future superstar second baseman, 8 potential, 19 years old, already in the big leagues after we drafted him in the first round last year with the 3rd or 4th overall pick. Can't remember exactly what pick we had. We're also giving up Kyle Zimmer, who's going to be a future ace or at the lowest probably 2nd or 3rd starter, and it really helps out the Rays rotation in the future. So they're getting a huge bat for the future. They're getting a huge pitcher for the future, and Barrios could fit in that rotation in that 3, 4, 5 spot for them in the future. So it makes sense for them to do that. Price, obviously they traded him away in real life because the reasons that they can't afford him. So it makes sense for them to want to give him up. And Will Myers, it's not that realistic for them to give up Will Myers, but they have tons of depth in the outfield. They have tons of depth at other positions like third base, where they have two 80+ overalls, and I'm not sure who it is at third base, but I'm pretty sure I noticed somebody that plays third base for them that can also play corner outfield position. So they have tons of depth all around their team, and they had the depth to give these guys up for future studs that are already good enough to play in the MLB. So it makes sense for both teams a little bit. Obviously it's a little bit unrealistic to get Price and Will Myers in the same deal, but I felt it was fair because we give up a ton of our future in McGraw, Zimmer, and Barrios. Now the second trade was for Anthony Rendon, and we gave up 3 B potential players. Thorpe, I'm pretty sure he's a pitcher. Quinones is a catcher, and Kenny Vargas is a first baseman. They're all B potential. I think Quinones we drafted last year in the first year player draft, obviously, but these 3 guys, they're B potentials. We didn't really need them, and we're trying to make the playoffs this year and make a deep playoff push this year. We're going all for it this year, and we're obviously going to continue this franchise into year 3, but we're going all out for it this season. And we wanted to make these trades here to really improve our team, and I think this is where we're going to cap it off. Before the trade deadline. The deadline's in 2 weeks after this, so we still have time to make another move. If you guys think we have to make a move, then just drop it in the comments. But I think we're good for now after these 2 trades. So Rendon's going to be at second. Obviously, Price is going to be ace. Myers is going to be playing right field. So it leaves a little bit of extra depth around the infield and outfield. Obviously, we have Geraldo Parra, who's now going to be our 4th outfielder, which was something I talked about in the last episode. We wanted him to be a 4th outfielder because he's not that good at hitting. His hitting stats aren't that good. They're all right contact-wise, but he's batting 100 and something. So He's definitely not a starting outfielder for a playoff contender, so we wanted to really improve that outfield spots. Rendon's going to slot perfectly in that second base position. He's batting over 300, along with Will Myers. He's batting over 300, and Will Myers is top 3 home run leaders in the MLB, I'm pretty sure. So he's having a great season. Obviously Rendon's having a great season as well, and Price is in Cy Young contention. So this is 3 really huge pieces that we pick up here. With these deals, we DFA'd a couple of players. We DFA'd Josh Willingham, who's been a Twin for a while. They traded him away in real life. No team actually picked him up, so he actually went to the free agent pile. So we could still pick him up near the end of the season. Obviously, we have to pick him up before August 31st, so he can play in the playoffs if we do make it. So we could still pick up Willingham again, but I don't think we are because his stats were going really way down, and he was only batting like a $190 or something. And we also DFA Ricky Weeks. I'm pretty sure he got picked up by another team, either that or he just got sent to the free agent pile, or he might have just been sent down to AAA. I can't exactly remember, but actually I think Ricky Weeks is actually still in our system. I think he's in AAA now after he cleared waivers. But after Ricky Weeks, after the acquisition of these 3 players, obviously, there was not that many spots on the 25-man roster. And then also Eduardo Nunez came off the disabled list. So then we had to send one more guy down, and he was batting terribly. He was batting like 105 or something. He was having a terrible season. So we decided to DFA him. I was really expecting for a lot better out of Ricky Weeks. I like him in real life, but it's just how it works. Sometimes you just have to make the right moves. But the rotation now, I like it. We have Price, Kazmir, Hughes, Meyer, and Ventura. I'm really liking this rotation because the bottom end, a lot of teams have, like, at the bottom end of the rotation, they have older guys, veterans they're just trying to get a little bit out of them. But Meyer and Ventura, they are lower overalls. They're like high 70s for both of them, but their ceiling is a lot higher than other 4th or 5th starters. So it's nice to see them at the bottom of the rotation. Both of them could potentially have like a 2 ERA and go they get like 15 wins this season. The way that they've been pitching so far. Obviously, Price at the top is a huge stud. Price is in Cy Young contention. Obviously, Kazmir's had a phenomenal season so far after we picked him up in the Cespedes trade. And Hughes, I just like pitching with Hughes. With Hughes. He doesn't do that well in the simulation, but whenever I use him in game, I just love the way, like, his pitching motion or whatever, and yeah, I just love pitching with Hughes. Then the lineup's going to look, obviously you saw it at the start of this game. We have Buxton in center, Andres at short. I think we're going to move Andres down in the lineup and maybe move Rendon up because Andres is not playing that well. Then Hosmer's in that 3 spots. Then Cespedes, Lucroy, Myers, Rendon, and Sano. And then the DH spot is going to be a little bit of a platoon. We have a bunch of different bats on the bench that we could put in that DH spot. In this game, I believe we put Eduardo Nunez in there. But there's a bunch of different options we could do with that DH spot. That could be a spot where we could still add another piece because we still have a bunch of prospects down in the minors, especially like B potential level guys. And there's a bunch of guys we still could move. But I'm liking our bench as well. All around, we have a pretty solid bench with like Nunez, Oswaldo Arcia. We also have what's his name, Yasmil Pinto, who had a great season last year, like in 2013 of this franchise. He had a great season, so I'm really liking our team all in all. The only changes I might make to the lineup is bump Andres down and bump Rendon up because Rendon's having a phenomenal season. And then I might move Will Myers into that 4 spot and move Cespedes down to like 5 or 6 because Cespedes is not playing too well. He's getting quite a few home runs, but he's not having as good of a season as you'd expect from Cespedes. So that's pretty much an overview of like how the team's going to look for the next little while. Obviously, the trade deadline's coming up, so this is probably going to be the team that we're going to have for the rest of the season. So I'm really excited for the way this team is shaping out. Obviously, this gameplay here is the first game that David Price is playing against his old team. The Tampa Bay Rays is going up against Matt, what's his name? Freaking Matt Moore, my bad. But just finally got through all that stuff that I needed to talk about, and sorry I didn't talk about the gamuplay too much in this episode, but you can see Glenn Perkins comes in here for the 9th after David Price actually went 8 innings in this game against his former team. He pretty much only gave up 1 run besides that 2-run shot that he gave up to Hanley Ramirez. So Parra and Prado come in for the 9th. We're going to do that a lot because those 2 guys are way better defensively than the guys that were in there before in Cespedes and in Sano. So those guys are going to be coming in the 9th if they do have a shot. Glenn Perkins is having a phenomenal season this year. He's leading the league in saves with 25, and he has like a 1 or like a sub 1 ERA. I can't exactly remember. But here we go. Bottom half of the 9th, and James Loney up. He's going to chop this one to first base, and Hosmer touches the bag, and that will do it for this one. We pick up the win here. We move a game above 500 as we did come into this game at the 500 mark. But we're still definitely in contention for the division, still in contention for the wild card, and hopefully we can turn it around after after the acquisition of these 3 players that I talked the whole video about, so I don't need to talk more about it. But the player of the game in this one was Byron Buxton. He got a leadoff home run in the first inning on the first pitch of the ball game from Matt Moore. So that's going to do it for this one, guys. If you did enjoy, leave a like. You can stick around for the box scores. And in the next one, I will definitely be commentating over the gameplay a lot more. This was just a different episode because I made 2 trades and I wanted to talk about them a lot to make sure I can get my point across. And leave your comments on what you guys thought about the trades and everything. But you can stick around for the box scores here. That was it for that one. Obviously, David Price picks up the win, going 8 innings strong, only giving up 3 runs. And that'll be it for this one, guys. I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.